Welcome to TRADEREP. This is Short Hammer. It is the 5th of September 2019, and we're taking a look at FedEx. Now, FedEx is interesting because if you look at this overall chart, and I remember I tried to dip by this headed into earnings. That didn't work. So, if we look at this 151 by 152 supply demand zone, the buyers tend to step in when it gets down into this area, and they push us back up a few supply demand zones. Back down, push us back up multiple supply demand zones. Back down, push us up multiple supply demand zones. And down here, didn't quite make it, and we made a lower low here. Lower than these other areas, but buyers did step in. I'm going to watch this closely because we are headed into earnings, and China has been kind of going after FedEx. I don't know if it's in retaliation for what's going on with the U.S. and trade negotiations, but they've definitely been getting targeted by China. And I really want to, usually, just looking at the technical aspect of this, a buyback above this supply demand zone for me would be bullish, and I'd be in long. But I'm going to be careful on this play and wait for an entry closer to my supply demand zone. Like if we push over the 160.71 area, we push up into here, I'll get long with my stop being the 159.50, the bottom of the supply demand zone, looking for us to go to the next level. And if we pull back down into the 152 by 151 supply demand zone, I don't think I would buy here this time because I want to see buyers take us to the next level. If we retrace here, my expectation would be that we may actually finally break and close below this 151 area, and this is on the daily chart, and perhaps matriculate down to this 144 area. We are headed into earnings, and you do expect not just a rise in volatility, but a rise in expectation that we may run into earnings. So I'm keeping that in mind when I look for an entry on this, and I'll be looking for a push over the 160s and a preferably 160.71, and getting in with my stop being the bottom of this zone. So that's my thought process on FedEx, and we'll see how that shakes out. This does look a little bit different here with the tap, double tap, triple tap, like it's just tapping in this area, where in the previous test we saw a slight feather, then a tap, buyer stepped in, tap here, buyer stepped in, tap here, buyer stepped in, but so the sellers pushed this back down, buyer stepped in. So now we're waiting to see if sellers step in or if the buyers truly do have control of this headed into earnings. So definitely have an eye on FedEx, but being cautious as to the entry.